Hey, what is going on guys, it's EoD and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I've got two brand new nuclear revenge stories just for you. One of them is around about 1 minute long, so that's going to be at the very beginning, and the one after is about 5 to 6 minutes long, so of course that's going to be the second one on the list. If you enjoyed the video, please slap a like on it and subscribe for almost daily Reddit content. Without further ado, let's get straight to the video. Be an abusive jerk? Go die for it. My mother's grandfather was well known for being extremely abusive to his wife, children and grandchildren. Now my mother is a no kind of BS taking person. She's never really had any trouble standing up for herself, and not even to her family. When my mother was a teen, old granddad got really sick. And if he had any hopes of surviving, he'd need a blood donation from a relative that was the exact match to him. Everyone got tested. The perfect life-saving match? My mother. She refused to donate and no one could do a thing about it. Granddad died soon after. I asked my mum if she regretted her choice, and she said not one single bit. High school affair turns into his worst nightmare. It all started when my best friend had met a guy online about 10 years ago when we were in 10th grade. He was a bodybuilder and it was love at first sight. Well, for her anyway. I met this dude about a week after they were a thing. They emitted feelings for each other and all was well. May I mention, this guy was ripped even in 10th grade. I am 5'7" and this dude, by my approximation, was about a foot taller than I am now. Me being a guy that's straight as hell, I could still see why my friend liked him. He had everything you could possibly ask for. They were flirting and I had a feeling he wasn't the best guy for her because she was drawn in over his looks and not his personality. 2 weeks later, I see my friend again and she had been to the hospital over the weekend due to depression. I remember this exact discussion because of how much shock I was in. Saturday night, 2 weeks before they had done the dirty deeds, my friend had lost her virginity to this man that exact night. Then, before both of her parents got home, he had left, never to be heard from again. She had been blocked on all social medias, all phone numbers, and a mention of her name to this dude, and you were automatically blocked as well. My friend attempted suicide Saturday night after the blockade, and again Sunday morning when she was finally called by her mum, and then admitted to the emergency room later that day. I'm glad to say my friend got over him pretty quickly. I set her up with my best friend from grade school and they fell quickly for each other. Everything was normal again for about 10 years when I had finally heard of this man from one of my bodybuilder friends who just happened to work for him. He had been happily married to a rich lady for about 2 years, and more on that later. He also owned the major gyms in our city and was rolling in cash after buying out all of the local competitors in our city. Money that he had taken from his rich wife that didn't really care about money. I was able to get his Snapchat from one of my friends and send it to my friend from high school, who was getting married that fall to my best friend from grade school. She wanted some revenge and I'd like to help her with that. We set up a fake Snapchat account of a girl with a fake name, and then we added him. It was time for our revenge. He fell to us catfishing him pretty quickly. It took him about a month to start flirting, and after that it was pretty easy to get him to send us nudes and to be all dirty flirty with us. We waited about 3 months gathering screenshots to prove that he was cheating, and then we finally copied all of them onto USBs, put them into envelopes with thank you cards, and then sent them to his wife. We still needed one last thing though. His address. We needed his address so that we could drop the cards into his mailbox. We found his address through the bodybuilder friend who was mentioned earlier, and he lives in a mansion that just happens to be lakefront property. he had 2 parked cars outside, a then brand new Ford GT and a Dodge Charger. I put the cards in his mailbox and then drove off to work. After work, on the way home, I made a quick detour and went by his house. His wife was throwing all of his stuff out the front door, and on my way by, I just couldn't help but laugh. Needless to say, I heard what happened through my bodybuilder friend. She was furious and divorced him almost immediately. The gym ended up closing about a month later, and he filed for bankruptcy. Apparently, he ended up avoiding his taxes and is currently serving jail time for that. Needless to say, my motto is, don't do something if you're not willing to pay the consequences. Quick edit, there was a few details that I had failed to point out because I was just in such a hurry to complete this. Well, the first things first, she thought she was pregnant because of something that he had said beforehand. I don't remember it exactly, but something was said along the lines of, if there's a chance that you're pregnant, I'm going to block you on everything because I don't want that in my life. She ended up having pregnancy symptoms, but wasn't actually pregnant, but she was still freaking their head out. So I talked to my old friend who used to work at the gym. Apparently word spread around the gym about what was happening between him and his wife, and he just started rapidly losing membership. If you've made it this far, you've done one of 2 things. 1, you've either fell asleep while watching the video, not very good on you, or 2, you've actually enjoyed the video. If you've enjoyed the video, can you please slap a like on it? I would ask you to do that if you fell asleep, but you know, you've fell asleep, so I can't ask you to do that. But also subscribe for daily Reddit content. And until next time, I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in my next video.